Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Vendo Velocity podcast. My name is Nicolas Martinez. I'm our SVP of Marketing here at Vendo, a platform company. And we've got a very special episode, as always, for you today, joined with a special guest, Marino from Wayward. Thank you for joining the show today. Excited to get into all things affiliate marketing. But first, why don't you share with the audience who you are, what your company is about, and anything else you'd like to mention?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much for having me, Nick and Jackie. Hi, everyone. I'm Marino, the CEO and co-founder of Wayward. Wayward is a partnerships technology platform that helps connect brands with influencers and media companies, and then we amplify that partnership content through paid media.
Excellent, excellent. And Wayward has been a partner of ours for some time now, so we're excited to chat about all the different ways that we maximize the platform and really just maximize affiliate marketing in general. We also have Jackie Carleton from the Vendo team. Jackie, do you want to give a quick introduction?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Jackie. I'm our creator marketing manager here at Vendo, and I help lead all of our UGC Amazon affiliate and influencer programs. So really excited to be chatting with Ali today. We love Wayward and have just have so much fun working with them. So excited to have Ali here today.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll double down on that. Affiliate marketing, especially in the Amazon space, is still, I feel like, in a lot of ways, at the tip of the iceberg. We've been doing it here at Vendo for several years, but it wasn't really until platforms like Wayward came around and started to evolve the space that it really started to take off in terms of being a meaningful paid media channel for our brands. We're now looking at affiliate marketing on Amazon and Walmart, for that matter, in the same lens as we look at other paid media, right? So when you're thinking about paid search, paid social, DSP, right, all these levers you can pull to take your brand to that next stage in their life cycle, affiliate should be right there head to head when you're making those decisions. And we'll get into a lot of the reasons why, from efficiencies to new to brand customer acquisition and much more. But to kick things off today, I think we want to make sure everyone has a good lay of the land on what are the different types of affiliates within the Amazon ecosystem. I think this is a common misconception when people aren't familiar with affiliate. They may think, it's going to be largely social influencers, but it's a whole vast array. So, Jackie, why don't you share a little bit about the differences in affiliates in the Amazon ecosystem?
Yeah, so when we talk about building our Amazon affiliate programs, like you mentioned, there are a lot of misconceptions with who these types of affiliates are. And we really try to diversify who we're working with to really build and scale these programs. So I think people usually think it could be, Amazon influencers or associates, but it's really made up with a lot more than that. So we think of content and review sites, typical kinds of different PR, deal coupon pages, loyalty reward programs, and then also some of those social influencers, and then also different kinds of affiliate networks. And to take that a step further, I want to talk a little bit about creator connections, associates, attribution links. There's a lot of different things going on here. So we definitely work with Creator Connections, which is Amazon's own marketplace, and that is Amazon Associates, Amazon influencers, and we can set up these campaigns directly in Amazon by setting a specific type of budget and the commission rate. And when we think about Amazon Associates, anyone, anybody on this call, anyone listening in, you can go and sign up to be an associate and then share those links on your channels, whether you're promoting on your social media, maybe you have your own blog, an article, a listicle. And then we have Amazon influencers. And these are the types of people who you really think of social media influencers who might have a huge following. And with these Amazon influencers, they have their own storefront. So they can actually link to their storefront where they might be promoting a handful of different products. They can also put together Amazon lists. They can put together Amazon videos that they can share on their storefronts. And then those could get indexed and share on different kinds of product pages. So those are kind of more the creator connections and Amazon associates. But then we also work off Amazon attribution links, which is a tool within Amazon that can measure performance on external promotions, and we can work with these links with different sorts of platforms like Wayward that directly links into Amazon's API. And the benefit here with using these Amazon attribution links is the brand or the seller can get a 10% commission back through the Amazon brand referral bonus. So when we are working with brands and, they're driving tens of thousands of dollars of Amazon sales every month, thinking about that Amazon brand referral bonus back into your account is really great. So just kind of to level set the differences between associate links and then attribution links.
Yeah, excellent. And I think that 10% brand referral bonus is probably catching a lot of people's attention that aren't familiar. And that's, again, a really great way to offset those commissions and save some margin. But on that note, there are changes constantly happening. Last year, at the beginning of 2025, end of 2024, we saw a big change. And then again this year, right around now, actually, we're starting to see a change in how Amazon treats the Amazon Associates links, and then how that can impact the types of links that affiliates are using, how sales are being tracked, so on and so forth. Ali, I'd love to hear from you. What are some of those changes that we're seeing or anticipating? I know it's a bit muddied right now on what may happen or when it might happen, but what is your understanding of where the links and tracking are going?
Yeah, it's never a dull moment in, operating in the Amazon ecosystem. It's funny, a brand actually asked us, do we think that this has a bigger impact? These changes have a bigger impact than the December 2024 change. And I think they do. And we do have a little bit more clarity as of last week in terms of what the changes are. But one thing to clarify before I dive in is that Wayward operates across all of the Amazon programs. And so we support, whether it's an Amazon Associates or Creator Connections link or an attribution link, we have both programs. So if you're a brand on our platform, you're already set up to react to these changes. But yeah, so the changes went into effect last week, and I put them into two different categories. There's a reporting and data transparency change, and then there is a rate card and monetization change. And so on the first piece, the reporting and data transparency change, this is not a policy change by Amazon, but effectively what's happening is if you're an Amazon associate, so you're a publisher or an influencer, anyone promoting Amazon products, you no longer get the same level of detail in your reporting that you used to. And maybe speaking more specifically, you will no longer see the sales by ASIN for indirect sales. So if you're an influencer and you promote, let's say, Bose headphones, if a consumer clicks on your link, goes to Amazon, purchases Bose headphones, but also purchases 5 other items, you will no longer see the 5 other items that you helped influence as part of that product promotion. This is challenging for Amazon associates because our understanding is that they used that level of detail to help inform future product recommendations. If they saw that their audience, when promoted headphones, they also bought chargers and computers and other electronics, those influencers would use that to inform future content going forward. And with the loss of that level of detail, I think it's going to be really challenging to figure out, okay, what should I be promoting to my audience? What is my audience most interested in? Or at least what is going to create the most conversion? So that's the reporting and detail change. And then on the rate card change, so Amazon changed up the way that they're compensating some of the large editorial publishers and media companies, as well as influencers. And I don't have specifics, but I do know that the rate card changes are negatively impacting some of the partners, and they're making them think about, okay, well, is the math really mathing anymore? Can I, is sending to Amazon or is promoting X product really going to result in a positive ROI? And so given these changes, I think we're going to see 3 major impacts. The first is diversification. I think we are already seeing publishers and influencers promote more to non-Amazon channels. And I don't think that they're going to reduce the amount that they're promoting to Amazon. I think that they're just trying to make up for the loss in compensation and detail. And so they're adding more channels, which is great. Especially for us, we have we rolled out Walmart as a channel in February. And I know you all also handle Walmart, which is great. And so we're really excited and bullish on Walmart and think that that's going to be a big channel for the large editorial publishers, the media buyers, as well as the influencers this year. I think that the second impact, which is an interesting one, is that we think Amazon attribution is going to come back in a big way. So I think that the publishers that, as a result of the December 2024 change, that moved from attribution, the double dipping between attribution and associates, they sort of went more towards the associates route. We're actually seeing them test attribution again, which is amazing for brands for all the reasons that you mentioned, Jackie and Nick. So we're excited about attribution coming back. And then I think the third piece is product discovery. So I think you're absolutely right, Jackie. It's super important for brands to be on creator connections because that's a way that they get discovered by, publishers and influencers. But it's really challenging for the Amazon associates and all the affiliates to sort through all of those products. There are millions of ASINs and millions of campaigns. And so that's where I think tools like Wayward come in. We actually help affiliates discover products, and we're doing we're rolling out some really cool features like smart matchmaking and a predictability score, and helping them with product discovery dashboard to help them sort through all of the options that they have across all of the channels. And so if you're a brand, I think it's extremely important to be on one of these partnership marketing platforms, just like Wayward, so that you can get discovered by affiliates in a more streamlined way.
Well, thank you, Ali. Throwing a lot of knowledge down there. So I'm going to double click into a few of the items that you just spoke to, and just make sure that we're super clear, especially with the changes that Amazon's making with their reporting. So just to clarify for the audience, when you say that the indirect sales aren't going to be reported on an ASIN level anymore, is that specifically to sales outside of the brand, within the brand, or both?
So it depends. And I can't speak specifically because we haven't seen enough data to confirm this, but there is a click threshold that we were made aware of. And so our understanding is if you're an affiliate promoting a product, you will see ASIN level reporting if the product was included in the content and was what was clicked on. We think that will include Halo sales from the brand, but it wouldn't include anything outside of the brand. That's what we know so far. I would like to clarify that if you are a brand operating on Creator Connections, you will still see sales from, direct and indirect through the Creator Connections reporting. And so nothing has changed on the brand side.
Yeah, I guess if you're in the brand's, shoes and you're the one paying the commission, maybe you don't want to pay a commission on sales that didn't go to your brand, right? But then that same brand and those same shoes are also reaping the rewards of other brands working with affiliates to drive indirect sales to them. So it is a really interesting topic. I know we've gotten some feedback, can we diversify the commissions that we're giving based on direct versus indirect sales, right? That's an interesting approach. But I can definitely see why associates would not like it, because it's going to be a negative to them regardless of what product they're directly or indirectly selling. And so would you say, when you're talking about testing attribution again, right, this wave kind of back to attribution, which for the audience, just to clarify, is how you get that 10% referral bonus, right? So as a brand, there's a cost impact there that would support affiliates going back to attribution. But do you think do you think this is one of the reasons why affiliates are starting to go back to attribution, or do you think there's some other considerations happening there?
Yeah, I think that the big reason is just the ROI and the math. Because brands receive the 10% brand referral bonus, typically they're able to offer higher commission rates through attribution than through creator connections and associates programs. And so we think that the math may work out in the favor of the associate to use attribution. And then they'll also get more detailed reporting associated with the attribution links. So there are multiple benefits. And then one big thing on the associate side is the affiliate side, sorry, is that the attribution window is 14 days versus the associates window is 24 hours. And so affiliates are thinking about that trade-off with using attribution links. Although they're not getting compensated by Amazon through that program, there is a longer cookie window and typically higher commissions on those direct sales.
Yeah, great points, definitely. And, it also could just be, hey, they tested, for a year just doing associates, right? Or going more associates. And they realized, oh, all those extra perks that Amazon was giving us, or we thought we were going to get, well, they didn't actually outweigh the benefits we would have gotten from having, maybe 5 or 10 or even more percent commission with attribution links. So, yeah, really, really interesting cycle we've seen here. And as you had said earlier, never a dull moment, right? Got to keep us on our toes.
Yeah, I think we'll start to see more clarity over the coming weeks. I mean, we're going into a huge retail period right now with the big spring sale happening at the end of March, and so I think that that's going to be the first true test for anyone kind of thinking about attribution versus associate. So we should know more going into April and May, with enough time for pre-Prime Day prep with what media companies and influencers are leaning into.
Amazing. Well, we're looking forward to looking at that data together.
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to pivot a little bit here. I think, a lot of people out there, and by the way, everyone in the audience, we've got quite a few people. Feel free to leave comments. We'll answer them as we can. But I think probably a lot of people are maybe here today to figure out, how do I get started with an Amazon affiliate program, right? Is my brand ready for an Amazon affiliate? And really, because of the performance-based pricing model, right? Especially if you're doing it yourself, right? It's just that commission that you're giving out. So from that perspective, I would recommend any brand getting started. But in order to really invest in it and take it to the next level, right, there are certain characteristics that we look for in a brand. And so, Jackie, if you could share a little bit about that, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, so I think when we start having the conversation with our brands on whether or not we should start looking at our Amazon affiliate program, there are several different types of things that we'll want to do before we, initiate that conversation. And so some of those things look like, what are they doing on Amazon? What do their monthly sales look like? What kind of products do they have, and what product category are they in? So when we look at their monthly average Amazon sales, typically I would say anywhere between 100, 200K a month is probably the sweet spot of where we want our brands to be before we start really doing a deeper dive into, are they ready for this program? And then we want to look at their products, right? So we want to make sure that their products are affiliate friendly. So what does that mean? Are affiliates going to want to promote these products? Do the affiliates think these products are cool? Are they trendy? And what does that selling point look like? Is that going to be attractive to their audience? And is their audience going to be excited to want to purchase that product and try that product? So I would think of, maybe a product that is something along the lines of a heated sauna blanket that is priced at $150. Or what if it's a really cool product from a very well-known electronic brands, that's some sort of smart TV. Those are all really cool, exciting products that affiliates are going to want to promote, especially with a high-priced item, because if you think about the commission on those products, 20% on $150, $200 TV is going to look very different than maybe 20% on a lower price item of around $10 to $20. And then taking the products a little deeper is kind of looking and doing a product audit in a way, looking at their entire product catalog and looking on Amazon. What do the product reviews look like? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they, below a 4.0 stars? How many product reviews do they even have on Amazon? So when looking at the product reviews, we want to make sure that have at least 1,000 product reviews, because we know that their products are selling, that their consumers are engaged, they're leaving, positive product reviews. And then also when we look at the product category, we know that supplements, for example, are super highly competitive. And then other things like electronics, again, any products that have, a higher price point are going to be attractive to our affiliate networks. And then once kind of that initial stage is completed, when we're looking at all of those different things, then we can sort of go into this forecast and budget that we do for all of our brands. And what this looks like is putting together, how much revenue do we think that they're going to get? What do their expenses look like? Again, when we're looking at expenses, this is really in terms of the commission, which we can set based on doing all of these different evaluations for our brands. And that commission can look anywhere from 15 to 40%. We see brands sometimes 30, 40% when it's more of those competitive products, so supplements, for example. And then when we build out this forecast, we can really look at the return on the investment, the ROAS, and then also we'll have benchmarks in place. So when we are building the program, we can look, okay, are we hitting these goals that we forecasted a few months ago? And then we can always change and reevaluate depending on how the brand is performing. And then also, when we look at the 9-month forecast and budget, we also will look at these commission rates. Typically in the beginning, we might want to set the commission rates a little bit higher. When we are working on the attribution, maybe we'll set this a little bit higher, knowing that they're going to get that 10% brand referral bonus back. And then as the program starts to evolve and build, we can then re-strategize and put together private commission rates for, top publishers that are performing, and then kind of level set everything else at a lower commission. And then also, again, tiered commission structures, private commissions for specific publishers and products, and then kind of go from there.
All right. Well, a lot to take in there. But just to kind of keep it simple too, again, for those brands that are just getting started, really just get on the platform, set up your product, set up your commission, put together a creative brief. That's the bare minimum to get things going. But as Jackie was mentioning, there's a lot of different levers you can pull to really scale a program. And that's going to be incredibly important if you want that program to continue to grow year over year and become a meaningful part of your sales. We've seen brands get to as much as almost 30% of total sales within 3 months. I've seen a brand take 2 years to get to 30% of total sales. So it really does vary depending on all the different components that Jackie just went over and more. But again, as I started off at the beginning, affiliate is a very efficient program because you can control that ROAS, right? And so when we're looking at how efficient this program is going to be relative to other channels, we're looking at it, in terms of the ROAS we're going to achieve on affiliate versus what is normally your non-branded ROAS elsewhere, right? So if we think about Amazon ads, for example, sponsored search, sponsored product, what is your non-branded ROAS? And compare that to what you can achieve through affiliate. If you want to do a little bit in between blended and non-branded, that's also a good spot to be, because on average, we're seeing about 70, even 80% plus of customers acquired through affiliate that are new to brand, right? And so that's really one of the main call outs I want to make here is that affiliate is an incredibly efficient new to brand acquisition tool. And it's not just efficient for those initial new to brand customers you're bringing in, but it's also efficient in terms of how your advertising, your retargeting ads are going to improve, right? Because as you're filling up that funnel on Amazon, on Walmart, wherever, with new to brand customers, your ads are recognizing that. And if you're running any retargeting ads, they're going to retarget to those people you brought in through affiliate. And so now you're going to start to see your new to brand acquisition for your advertising also improve. The ROAS around those campaigns also improve. And then if we really want to get into it, we can get into organic ranking impacts and how that drives even more growth, right? As you drive up your search rankings organically and get in front of more eyeballs. So, yeah, lot to go deep on there, but hopefully everybody got some golden nuggets that they can walk away with and take action with. So, thank you, Jackie, for that. Ali, anything to add on that point? Anything? I know that list was pretty comprehensive, but if there's anything at all, maybe that wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, look, you guys are the experts. I think you covered it well, but I have maybe two quick things to add. One, I think being strategic with your discounts and how you're coupling that with the commission rates is increasingly more important. And we're seeing, at least on the publisher and influencer side, that people want to promote products that are on sale, and they're really taking advantage of those, discount periods. And so I think it's important to kind of think through, okay, if I'm increasing my commission rate, what discount can I also offer and still maintain the right ROI? But I think it is helpful to lean into that to get noticed by affiliates. And then I think the second piece is affiliate programs take a really long time to ramp up. And I think part of that is because tracking is not perfect. I mentioned before, at least through the Amazon Associates and Creator Connection side, those tracking links are 24-hour window. So you might actually get a lot more like branding halo effects than is actually tracked in terms of conversion. And so I think you just have to be patient. You have to get into as many pieces of content as possible. It's definitely a volume game when it comes to partnership marketing.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one other thing I'll add is, also looking at the lifetime value, right? So that's something that we do, as Jackie mentioned, when we are forecasting. Before we even start a campaign, we put together a forecast. And one of the things that we've started looking at is what is that repeat purchase frequency and how does that correlate to lifetime value? And so then we're able to look at what is not only the ROAS, right, which is really just the commission. What is not only the immediate ROI, right, your commission minus your other expenses, but what is your more long-term ROI that you're gaining from the program as that customer that you acquired comes back to purchase again. And at least looking at that over the 12 months, right, you can get that data in Amazon Brand Analytics. That's going to be really helpful in understanding the bigger picture. Because to your point, Ali, a lot of times, brands are being I wouldn't say pressured, but they're being recommended to increase commissions, right? And everywhere you turn, it feels like your margin's just getting cut, right? And that could be scary, especially brands that are more profit focused. But again, if you start thinking about it in terms of this halo effect, this organic ranking booster, this repeat purchase driver, this retargeting advertising optimization effort, you look at it more holistically like that, then that ROI starts to look a lot better, not just better, but more accurate, right? More representative of what's really going on. And I think that's, kind of the struggle sometimes in our work is really not only just level setting that opportunity, but then also reporting on it. I will say reporting on it is where it gets even trickier because, Amazon and Walmart are more of a black box. But tools like Wayward and, Amazon is coming out with deeper analytics more frequently, and there's some other ways that we do reporting manually. You're able to put a lot of the picture together anyway and understand that bigger ROI. Yeah. Awesome. Well, we're going to pivot to the last aspect of the podcast today, which is all about the hottest topic right now, AI and shopping LLMs. So, Ali, would love for you to share with everyone how is partnership marketing evolving currently, expected to evolve? Like, what are you seeing out there?
I think that partnership marketing is the key input for shopping LLMs. And we're seeing that in these early days. I mean, people, I'm sure, are using ChatGPT to look for products and the other LLMs. I think we're going to see a couple of things happen. One, we're going to see more LLMs come out. So we'll see more shopping apps. Every major retailer is working on a shopping app with their own LLM, right? Amazon has one, Walmart, Target, et cetera, are working on them. So I think we're going to see more and more. I think they're all going to have different ways of actually ranking products and personalizing those recommendations. But I think one thing holds true for all of them. They need to get the recommendation data from somewhere, and that data is most likely to come from product recommendations through publishers and influencers. And so I'm really excited to be in this space because I think that, we're starting to see, at least in the early innings, where you rank in terms of a product roundup in a big publisher, or just being a brand that is well recognized across social media, has major impacts for how you show up in these LLMs. And so my biggest advice to brands is get in as much content as possible and do your best to be ranked number one. And I think that, yes, increasing commission rates is a way, is a lever to get to that number one spot, but it's really about having a good product, right? And so focus on your reviews, focus on your affiliate readiness, and building a quality product. But yes, try to lean into as much content as humanly possible with as many affiliates, well-known affiliates as possible.
Yeah, really, really interesting. I mean, when you think about all the different, AI tools and how you're going to influence them, I know, Amazon isn't allowing a lot of them to scrape their platform, right? So there's all these nuances that we have to be thinking about. I think one kind of golden nugget, as I like to say, that we've been digging into recently is more about how you can leverage creators on Amazon to optimize Amazon's Rufus selling assistant. And so that's through the related video shorts, right? So a lot of these, more social affiliates that do have an Amazon, storefront, and they create videos. We've been working with them to actually create videos that populate on product pages around Amazon, right? And we're seeing that as you do that, you're going to get indexed more by the Cosmo algorithm, which is going to influence the Rufus selling assistant at a higher rate. It's hard to track right now, but that's essentially the idea there. So there's all these different ways to optimize based on where you're trying to show up more. But have you seen anything, Allie, with how publishers are changing the way that they approach their content in the new world of AI?
Yes, we are. I think that we are seeing publishers try to increase the amount of content that they put out and tweak the content to be more niche depending on the products that they're recommending. And in addition to that, I think a lot of them are struggling with just the organic traffic going down in Google. So they're leaning into paid media. And that is what's really driving how things are ranked, at least in OpenAI's ChatGPT algorithm. And so if you're a brand, you want to show up in multiple product roundups, not just the main one. So if you're headphones, you want to be in, best electronics, best headphones, best over-ear headphones, best headphones for running, whatever it may be. You want to be in as many pieces of content as possible. And you want that publisher to be leaning into acquiring traffic to that content because that's going to get you the most notice. I will say this is creating, I think, a trend where publishers are expecting more upfront fees again, and leaning into that sponsored content in addition to pairing that with affiliate. So we're kind of, seeing how things change over the next couple of months with sponsored content. But yeah, we see like more and more content being created with different niche topics.
All right. Well, no shortage of topics to be on top of. Thanks, Allie, for that run through there. And just to close it out today, I want to kind of summarize everything we went over. So we went over all the different types of affiliates on Amazon, right? And really just in general, from publishers, PR affiliates to social affiliates, so on and so forth. We went over some of the reporting changes that are happening this month that are expected to impact the types of links that are used, the wave back to Amazon attribution links, and how that can be beneficial. One of the big call outs there being that 10% brand referral bonus and that 14-day attribution window versus the 24-hour. We discussed how to really evaluate, brands that are ready for affiliate, and really, every brand can be ready to a certain degree, but what qualifies, a brand that's really ready to kind of grow, and this is a significant part of their total business. Some different ways to get noticed by affiliates, right? How to really maximize the relationship. It is a relationship. Always keep that in mind, right? You want to nurture it. And then last but not least, we discussed the new world of AI and what publishers and brands are doing to capitalize on all those changes. So really robust conversation here today. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Feel free to email us directly at hello@vendocommerce.com. Feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn. Allie, any last words? Where can people find you? Anything at all?
Yeah, thank you so much again for having me, Nick and Jackie. It was an amazing conversation. And you can reach me at Allie@wayward.com. And that's Allie spelled ALI at wayward.com, or reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Amazing. Well, thank you for joining today. Absolute pleasure. And thank you, everyone in the audience, for joining as well. We will see you in 2 weeks for another episode of Vendo Velocity. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Thanks, everyone.